Have you ever wondered how different your life would be if nothing could shake you? Not the opinions of others, not the rejection, not the failure. Imagine facing pressure and still being calm. Picture yourself in chaos, but unbothered. Most people can't do that. They react, they explode, they let every small thing knock them off center. And that's exactly why they stay stuck. Because when the world can control how you feel, it also controls how you live. You've been taught to respond to everything. Someone says something rude, you fire back. Life gets hard, you break down. Things don't go your way, you spiral. But here's the truth. Real strength begins when you stop giving away your peace to every passing moment. Acting as if nothing bothers you doesn't mean you're numb. It means you've chosen to rise above. You've decided your inner world will not be ruled by the noise out, and that decision made daily changes everything. This isn't about pretending, it's about commanding. It's about realizing that every time you react emotionally, you give someone else the keys to your mental state. You hand them the remote to your peace. And that's dangerous, because now your confidence, your mood, your focus, it all depends on what happens around you. One bad comment, one mistake, and one delay. That's all it takes to ruin your day. But what if it didn't? What if you could keep your power no matter what came your way? There is power in silence. There is control in calmness. And there is freedom in not needing the world to behave a certain way for you to feel okay. When you master this mindset, everything changes. You start thinking clearer. You start seeing opportunities where others see problems. You begin to respond with wisdom instead of reacting with emotion. You stop being pushed around by every inconvenience and start moving with intention, no matter the chaos. People notice that energy. They respect it because it's rare. Anyone can lose their cool, anyone can complain, but staying composed in the middle of pressure, that's discipline. That's strength. And it makes you magnetic. It gives you an edge in relationships, in business, in life. While everyone else is stuck in drama, you're building peace. While others chase validation, you stand grounded. You're not distracted by noise, you're locked in on growth. This is not easy, but it is possible. And it starts the moment you stop feeding your reactions, the moment you take a breath instead of throwing words, the moment you choose peace over pride. That's when your transformation begins. And if you stay with it, if you keep building that mindset brick by brick, you'll become the kind of person nothing can shake, the kind of person who commands presence without a word, the kind of person who owns their life. So keep going, because the strength you're looking for is already inside you. Now it's time to prove it. Every time you react without thinking, you hand over your control. You let the world reach inside your mind and dictate how you feel, how you think, and how you act. And if you let that happen often enough, you start to believe you have no control at all. But you do. You always have a choice. You can either be pulled by the noise or led by your vision. You can be a slave to your emotions or the master of your responses. And that choice defines your path more than any challenge ever could. The truth is, most people are addicted to reacting. They don't even realize it. But their identity is tied to how quickly they explode, defend, or shut down. They think they're standing up for themselves, but all they're really doing is proving how easy they are to trigger. Real power isn't loud. It doesn't panic. It doesn't need to explain. Real power is silent, steady, and unmoved. It's not about suppressing your feelings. It's about knowing when your energy is better spent building than battling. That shift, learning to pause before you respond, changes everything. It protects your time, your peace, your mental clarity. It gives you the space to decide, not just react. That space is your power. When someone says something disrespectful, you don't need to match their energy. When life doesn't go your way, you don't need to fall apart. When the pressure rises, you rise higher, because you're not living from impulse anymore. You're living from purpose, and that separates you from the masses. You begin to see that emotional reactivity is a trap. It keeps you small, it keeps you exhausted, it keeps you stuck in patterns that never serve your future. But when you step back and observe instead of absorb, you shift from chaos to control. You're no longer bouncing between emotional highs and lows, you're steady. And in that steadiness, you find power most people never touch. You stop wasting energy trying to control what's outside and start focusing on what you can master: yourself. You don't need to fight every battle. You don't need to defend every opinion. You don't need to react to every trigger. That's how you lose. That's how you get pulled away from your path. Let people underestimate you. Let them try to provoke you. Let the world test you. Your silence, your discipline, your refusal to be rattled, that's your victory. That's what builds unshakable confidence. Because the person who cannot be disturbed is the person who can conquer anything. Let go of the need to always be heard. Let go of the habit of reacting to every little thing. Rise above the noise and reconnect with your focus. Keep training your mind to stay calm under pressure. That's how leaders are born. That's how legacies are built. You already have the strength. Now choose to use it. Stay steady, stay focused, and let the world feel the calm force of someone who no longer gives their power away. Stillness is not weakness. It is presence. It is the ability to remain grounded when everything around you is trying to pull you off balance. Most people confuse stillness with passivity, but they don't realize it takes far more strength to remain calm than it does to react. When your emotions try to hijack your mind, stillness says, "I'm in control now." It gives you the power to pause, to think, to decide, and in that pause, you access clarity that the reactive mind can never touch. The world is noisy. It throws distractions, judgments, and pressure at you nonstop. And if your inner world isn't stronger than the outer noise, you will always be a victim to it. But when you choose stillness, you create space. That space becomes your armor. It allows you to observe the chaos without becoming it. It allows you to protect your peace without running from conflict. And in that protection, you build something priceless: emotional intelligence. And boom. That's what you should do now. Pull back the handle so the tension can be sped, and the tension can be sped. And boom. That's what you should do now. You have an opportunity, and if you don't, you have an opportunity to build something better. For yourself, the ability to understand what you feel without being ruled by it. The ability to sense what others project without absorbing it. Stillness teaches you discipline because it forces you to be present with discomfort instead of escaping it. It forces you to confront the thoughts you usually bury beneath reactions. That's not easy, but it's how you evolve. When you stop hiding behind noise, when you stop reacting just to fill the silence, you start to meet the real you. And that version of you is powerful, calm, and focused. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to fight for attention. You carry quiet certainty that speaks louder than any words ever could. This mindset sharpens your focus. It keeps your energy contained instead of scattered. And in a world addicted to reaction, your stillness becomes your edge. People start to notice something different in you. You're not flustered. You're not emotional over nonsense. You move with intent. You act with awareness. And you begin to attract better relationships, better opportunities, better peace. Not because the world changed, but because you did. You will still feel frustration. You will still face pressure, but you won't be owned by it. The emotions will rise, but you will meet them with strength, not submission. That's the beauty of stillness. It doesn't mean you feel nothing. It means you feel deeply, but you choose wisely. It means your emotions are acknowledged, but they are not the driver. Your values are, your mission is, and that shift changes how you live. So take the time to develop that stillness. Make space in your day to pause. Train your thoughts to observe before they react. Because the more still you become, the more power you access. And the more power you access, the less the world can take from you. Let the storm rage. Let the world move. You remain still. Not because you're weak, but because you finally understand where your real power lives. When you stay composed, you're reprogramming how your mind deals with stress. That's not just a skill, that's transformation. Strength doesn't come from pretending nothing affects you. It comes from mastering the moment between stimulus and response. That small space holds incredible power. In that space, you get to decide who you want to be. You get to ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Will reacting serve my goals, or will it steal my focus? That moment is your gateway to self-mastery. And the more you honor it, the stronger you become. Most people don't even realize it exists. They live in automatic mode. But you're not most people. You're here to lead your mind, not be led by it. The ones who train their minds to stay calm under fire are the ones who rise. Not because life treats them easier, but because they don't waste energy on things that don't matter. So, the effect of life is more powerful than things that they stay focused while others get lost in emotion. They move forward while others stand frozen in reaction. They build while others break. And what sets them apart isn't talent, it's mental discipline, it's emotional control. It's the refusal to let circumstances dictate their peace. That level of control doesn't happen by accident. It's built through repetition, through choosing calm over chaos, again and again until it becomes second nature. When your emotions scream to be released and you choose stillness instead, that's progress. When you feel insulted but decide to stay grounded, that's power. Every moment you resist the urge to react, you are strengthening your foundation. And that foundation will carry you through storms others can't survive. This is the kind of growth that doesn't shout, it doesn't make noise, it doesn't look dramatic from the outside, but inside, a war is being won. A new you is being formed. And over time, you'll start to notice the difference. Less anxiety, less regret, less chaos, more clarity, more strength, more control. You stop living on edge. You start living on purpose. So keep choosing the higher response. Keep honoring that pause. Keep rewriting the script your mind has followed for too long. Because every second you hold your center, you are building the kind of strength that nothing can. You are becoming untouchable. Not because the world changed, but because you did. And in that change lies the freedom you've been searching for. You don't need to explain yourself to be understood. You don't need to defend your every move to prove your worth. Constantly reacting, constantly justifying, constantly needing to be seen, it drains your energy and exposes your insecurities. The person who is truly in control doesn't need validation to feel certain. They move in silence, not because they are weak, but because their purpose is louder than their pride. The more you grow, the less you will feel the urge to prove anything, because when you know who you are, the noise outside becomes irrelevant. There is power in not responding, power in holding your peace when others try to provoke you. Not every situation deserves your energy. Not every opinion deserves your attention. When you act like nothing bothers you, you're not being fake. You're being selective. You're choosing not to waste your strength on things that do not serve your growth. That's not avoidance. That's elevation. It's realizing that your peace is too expensive to spend on things that don't matter. You are not here to convince anyone of your value. You are here to live it, to breathe it, to walk it every day with consistency, grace, and quiet discipline. The moment you stop chasing approval is the moment you take back control. People will misunderstand you. They will question you. They will try to challenge your silence. Let them. That's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to stay locked in on your vision. Let your actions speak what your words never need to say. Strength is not found in how loudly you defend yourself. It's found in how calmly you continue forward. When they expect you to argue and you respond with composure, you break the cycle. When they try to pull you into drama and you stay focused, you rise above it. That's leadership. That's discipline. And that's the mindset that separates the average from the exceptional. It's not about having no feelings. It's about mastering them so that your emotions no longer control your path, your energy, or your destiny. Every time you choose not to engage in small battles, you protect your mental clarity. You keep your fire burning for what truly matters. That doesn't mean you're passive. It means you're strategic. You don't fight for attention. You work for alignment. You don't scream for respect. You earn it through action, through patience, through consistency. And in that calm, you become someone people can't shake, can't read, can't move off course. Let them talk, let them assume, let them project. Your silence will say more than your words ever could. Your focus will make more noise than any argument, and your discipline will speak volumes about who you really are. So hold your peace like it's sacred, because it is. You are not here to react. You are here to rise. And every time you stay grounded when the world tries to pull you in, you step deeper into your power. That is your advantage. Use it. Detachment is not disconnection. It is not indifference or coldness. It is clarity. It is emotional freedom. When you detach, you stop tying your self-worth to external outcomes. You stop needing everything to go your way to feel grounded. You stop letting people's opinions shape your identity. Detachment doesn't make you weaker. It makes you stronger, because your peace is no longer held hostage by things beyond your control. You still care, you still give your best, but you're no longer destroyed when things don't unfold exactly how you imagined. Attachment creates suffering. The more tightly you cling to results, to people, to perfection, the more fragile you become. You start living on edge, fearing every loss, craving every validation, chasing every high. But when you practice detachment, you shift from fear to trust. You trust yourself. You trust the process. You no longer need to force what's not meant for you. You let go of the illusion that control equals security. Real security comes from within, from knowing that no matter what happens, you won't fall apart. The strongest minds know how to let go, not because they don't care, but because they understand that peace is more important than possession. They don't chase what doesn't belong. They don't beg for attention. They don't grip life so tightly that it breaks in their hands. Instead, they move with confidence, releasing what they cannot change while pouring their full energy into what they can. That's not giving up. That's rising above. That's learning to walk away from what threatens your growth, even if it once brought you comfort. The more detached you become from the noise, the more clearly you hear your intuition. You begin to trust your own voice over the opinions of others. You begin to value your solitude over shallow approval. You stop reacting to everything because you're no longer trying to prove yourself. Detachment frees your mind. It lets you observe without absorbing. It gives you the power to stay composed in situations that used to control you. And in that space, your confidence grows. Powerfully, without the need to be seen. It takes courage to let go, to stop fighting what isn't yours to fix, to walk away from comfort in search of growth. But every time you detach from what pulls you down, you rise higher into your true self. You make room for better things to enter. You regain your energy. You regain your focus. You stop being emotionally hijacked by things that never deserve that much power over you in the first place. This is the mindset of the unshakable, the one who remains centered through uncertainty, the one who stays calm while others panic, the one who keeps showing up, not because of attachment, but because of alignment. Let go of what weighs you down. Release what no longer reflects who you are becoming. Protect your peace, not by building walls, but by letting go of everything that threatens your power. That is how you stay untouchable. That is how you win.